So, welcome to the first podcast. In this podcast, we're going to be talking about the journey of young entrepreneurs. But first, we're going to talk about my own journey. So, I was telling Amadeus a story about how I'm going to record the podcast, and we were eating somewhere at a like Italian place, and he was like, "But you should talk about your own story first." And I was hesitant. I'm at the beginning of my journey. I don't know yet if it's interesting or if I can bring anything interesting yet. But he was like, no. The story you just told me, you need to tell this to the audience first. So this will be the starting point of the podcast where we go over my story and how I got where I'm now, which is still the beginning of my journey. But it's still going to be interesting for maybe in a year we can do another episode to see where I got to in a year. So yeah, that's basically it. Why did you think I should do it first?
I mean, this is the hero's journey.
Yeah.
Like, this is what you need.
Mm-hmm.
And like, just the way you walk, the way you talk, it's like, I know you're gonna succeed in anything you take on.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I just know that you should do this, because you're gonna look back in like a year or 5 years and like, whoa, that's where I was.
Yeah, so like, we're just gonna give it a shot.
Yeah. Like, no pressure.
Exactly. So we're gonna try in this podcast we're gonna try to keep it like as chill as possible. I don't know, I'm gonna probably become pretty unprepared each time for like the entrepreneur that's a guest, but I want to keep it like natural, and I feel like I'm best in a conversation when it's like like pure authentic conversation. So we prepared some questions, but we're just gonna run with it and see where it goes. We got 2 hours here, so there's no pressure. So yeah, let's start with like the first questions, I guess.
Yeah. Like, no, let's just start. Like, how are you feeling?
Yeah.
How are you?
I like this. No.
Are you excited about life?
Yeah, I am. It's different. So I've been really preparing myself to come here to Bali, and I'm now actually here. So it's really interesting for me to be experiencing it all. And it's sometimes hard for me to take it all in because there's so much going on, but I love it. I'm learning a lot, and I feel like I'm just gonna be leveling up here by being here and by meeting the people and listening to everyone, and so it's great. Like, this is what I live for. I mean, I don't really do anything else.
No.
This is just my life. So my life is just building and meeting cool people, and now it's actually happening. So that's been really, really fun.
But I actually went onto your Instagram and I'm like, okay, let's find something that I can grow into. Like, actually, this is your start. Yeah. Because there's actually no footage, nothing.
No.
You said the 3rd of August, next chapter started.
Yeah.
What exactly did you mean by that? What was your thought when you posted that?
I look at my life in like chapters. So probably my 0 to 10 is a chapter, and then my age. And then
your age, yeah.
Then I left primary school, so I left to high school 2 years early, and that's probably my 2nd chapter. And then my 3rd chapter is when I went to the US, and I did exchange in the US. I did a year of high school there. And then my 4th is the period after where I tried to study and dropped out. And
what did you study?
I studied business administration. It was something else.
Yeah.
It was pretty boring, but it was a good chapter to learn also for myself. And then right now it's chapter 5, but I feel like it's also just chapter 1. So because now it's really starting. I feel like now I'm taking everything in my life into my own hands. So financially, what I want to do, who I am, I decided that I'm different, and at first I had kind of a problem with that. In a way, that might sound cringe, but I mean, in a way that I just think differently, not in a good or a bad way. And at first I tried to maybe compensate for trying to think like other people or things like that. And last year I decided like, I'm just gonna be me, and probably people think that would be weird, but at least I'm gonna go just all in on being me. So I feel like the 5th chapter is in a way the first chapter, because it's really just starting now. Like, I'm taking everything into my own hands. So who I am, what I do, what I want to do, I just do now what I want to do. and that is resulting in meeting people that can relate with it and that understand it, and I feel like fully going all in on who you are and what you do attracts the right people that then will understand you. Because at first I always felt that no one understood me, but it was, I think, because I was trying to be, or not really doing yet what I wanted to be doing. And now I just decided to go all in, and now I'm attracting the people that understand me. I mean, Amadeus, I know him now for 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
4 weeks. And he was like, let's do this. I want to interview you for your first episode.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's because I put out the energy, and
you showed up.
Yeah, and I receive it back. Like, you probably understand me more than most of the people that know me from back home, from like childhood.
Yeah.
And it's because we're all here like for not the same reasons, but for similar kind of reasons. Like, we're trying to find a place where we can find people, and we're trying to find a place where we feel at home, or we're trying to find more. So, yeah.
And like, I used to have to stop you there. Like, 1 week ago, I told you I had a huge blockage to record and speak in English, and now you got me to actually sit on a podcast.
Yeah, now we're here.
Like, that's the kind of magic you're walking around with. You can influence people so well. People probably don't even know how young you are. Yeah. You're 19 years old.
Yeah, I just turned 20.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, this week. But yeah. And it's not something I'm conscious or aware about. I am, but I'm not doing it consciously.
What do you mean?
So you say like you're here now doing the podcast with me, while we had the conversation a week ago about creating content, and you were like, but I don't want to talk to the camera yet.
Yeah.
And now you're here doing a long form piece of English content with me. It's not something I'm consciously doing. It's just something that happens, like the influencing, or like the getting you on the train, I guess.
Yeah.
It was not something I was consciously doing. We just had a good conversation. And you were like, let's do it then. So, I don't know. Yeah, I guess so.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
But you said before that you think differently.
Yeah.
In what way? Like, if you try to explain what you mean by thinking differently, different from who, from what?
Yeah, so I came up with like a theory about this. So I think differently about pretty much everything. I dropped out of uni. I'm not against school. Like, I'm the guy that says you should go to school if you have nothing better to do. For me, it just didn't make sense, so I didn't go. Like, I dropped out. But I think differently about that part. But I think differently. Well, that's just an example. I also think differently about life. Like, what's there to life? I think about everything a lot. So even about the smallest things, which is like a blessing and a curse, because oftentimes things stay in my head which I should just get rid of or like get over. But I think it's because I left the normal system really early. So I graduated high school at 16 instead of 18, and I think because of that I've been getting programmed when I was still developing by podcasts I was listening to and books I was reading and experiences I was experiencing. I was fortunate enough to get the experience to go to the US a year, and that left a lot of impact on me. So I kind of got formed at a young age by like different inputs than usually. So I came to the conclusion that I just think different and see things differently because I have not been in like the regular system since I was really young. Because I went back to school for 3 months at 18, like uni, but that was like during Corona, so it was online school. And I was out there after 3 months, so I was still just being lost and trying to find my own path.
Yeah,
reading my own things and listening to the people I wanted to listen to, instead of being influenced by maybe people you don't want to be influenced by, or teachers that tell you things differently you shouldn't be hearing. So I think that's why I think differently, and probably it's because I've always just not been the normal kind of guy. My experience in school was very different, so I didn't have a very great experience in primary school with like other people, or kind of being, I was bullied at primary school. I was always the youngest. I was the smallest kid. I was 2 years younger, right? I'm not that big now, and I was even like shorter back then. So that made me an easy target. And in high school, I never really felt like I had any friends. So I never really felt that was my place. So I've always just been really on my own, trying to figure it out. I mean, I started with trying to figure things out when I was 10. And I don't know why. Yeah, I have no idea. Like, because probably I was trying to find a sense of like belonging somewhere. So I tried to create videos, and I tried to design, and I tried to start an e-commerce web shop, and I tried to do all these different things. And I had no real reason to, probably because that was the only thing I could find myself in.
Yeah.
And I think all of that just added to me thinking differently.
Do you feel like these thoughts gave you some bad experiences in life, or do you feel like it's just good because you still say that other people should go to school and study?
Like better experience in what way?
No, I mean, like, were there any bad side effects of thinking differently? Like, you were alone a lot. Is there anything that you like, oh, I don't want anyone to go through this? Or
no, of course there's bad things.
Yeah.
Like, I put things in my head and they stay there for a long time, or I can think about them for a long time, while other people could easily move on from them, or like, just, it's not that big, or like, but me, for me, it just, I can repeat it and repeat it and repeat it, and that makes it, you shouldn't do that. There's no point to it. You're just eating up yourself. So it brings bad experiences, but it also brings very good experiences, because I think I'm here now creating the things I create because I think about things differently. I think maybe if I was very conventional in my way of thinking, I would not be here right now creating this podcast about documenting my own journey. Like, what's the point? People would probably think, like, why should I start recording myself now?
Yeah.
That's probably what most people think, right?
Absolutely.
Like, what do I have to tell?
Yeah.
And I kind of thought about this podcast, about you asking, can I interview you? I was like, but what did I have to tell? But then you made me think, and I was like, sure, this is what I'm doing. I'm documenting my journey. I should start here and then go from there, because I'm documenting all my stuff now, even though I'm not where I want to be yet, because it will make it relatable and inspiring in 3 years when people listen to me then and on podcast. Then they can look back and see, hey, this guy just started like me. It will make it way more close to them, instead of you being up there talking about how much money you made, or like, it's so far from your home, like, it's so unrelatable. You can learn a lot from it, but I think it's even more cool if I have my story from the beginning. I just think that's cool for myself and maybe for other people. And probably that way of different thinking, like putting myself out there, getting 0 views, I don't mind. Like, I just don't care about it. Like, I just do it, and maybe it's cool in 3 years, and maybe I just have something to look back on for myself. That's also a win. So, I think thinking differently there as well is what makes me even create these things.
So let's go back a bit.
Yeah.
So what are your projects right now? Like today, where are you mentally, financially, in your business? What are you doing? What's your daily life like? All right.
So I'm working on my brand, which is Exchange Life, and then I'm working on my agency, which is Young Creatives. So, what do you want to know first?
First, like, all the listeners, they don't know. Hopefully, they don't know nothing about you.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I started my brand Exchange Life 3 years ago when I went to the US.
Exchange Life.
Yeah. So it's merchandise for exchange students. So when I was on exchange in the US, I played American football there for a season, and then the second season there was no sport, so I was like, what do I do now? And then I started my first e-com store at 14.
14.
Yeah, so I started dropshipping at 14. So
What did you dropship?
Wooden watches. I started wooden watches, and I started a lighter brand, and I started a custom puzzle brand. And
Was it profitable?
Sure, to like very low levels, like nothing significant. And a bunch of different stuff, like just trying to figure something out. So I had already the drive of like creating things when I was on exchange, and I had the idea of creating merchandise for exchange students before I left on exchange, but I just didn't know how to start it. But then while I was on exchange, I was sitting in class, and it was like, I now know how to do this. I now know how to start this brand. So I wrote down like a shit ton, and then I went home and started it. And now we're still growing it. So there was Corona, of course. So there weren't many exchange students, but I didn't want to give up on it because I really believed in the idea, and it's my authentic experience as an exchange student put into a brand and a product.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's here now, building a big community, and also why it's gonna be big, because it's authentic to who I am, and it's people can see that and they feel it. And I didn't start it to make a lot of money, but now I'm doing it. I might as well do it to the best of my ability. So yeah, that's what I'm working on for my brand. We're now doing paid advertisement. I found a business partner here in Bali that is going to run the whole paid advertising site, so that's pretty exciting, starting next week. So that might be the breakthrough for the brand, because right now I can't live off my brand. Like there is not enough revenue there.
How much is your revenue?
So it depends. It's high seasons and low seasons, especially with my product, because it's for the school related. You have summer breaks and things like that.
Yeah.
But I hope to break the first 10K month in revenue of organic, so of the community building I did this year. So Q4, probably November or December.
So absolutely no paid ads.
Yeah, the 10K hopefully comes from the organic community building I've done this year. Looking at the numbers I did last year, so I had like a 4 or 5K month. Right now, all exchange students are back, and the community is like 6 times as big, and there's just a lot more people out there and interested in what we do. So that's why I think I can break the 10K of the organic community building. And then with the paid advertisement on top, of course, we hope to scale.
Yeah.
So, and my business partner has a lot of like trust in it. He really believes in it. So we're trying to crush it now. We're almost there. We're just waiting on the ad creatives. So yeah, I'm gonna keep everyone up to date about that. But that might be the breakthrough for the brand, because I knew this already a year ago, but I just didn't know where to start with paid advertising. But the goal there is not to make a lot of revenue to live off. I want to reinvest everything I should and everything I can back into the brand, because the big money in e-commerce and in building a brand is in the exit. So if I can reinvest everything into making it able to run without me, making a stream of content, someone that does advertisement, the creatives, I'm gonna try to get it to a point where there's not much input needed from me anymore, so it's even exitable.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to exit a founder-based brand. So that's what I'm gonna try to do there. But yeah, maybe paid brings it to a whole other level and I can live off it.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Like, I don't need much.
How do you live in Bali now?
So right now, I brought my savings here, and I'm living off my savings, and I'm now signing my first clients for my agency.
Yeah.
So we do monthly packages. So my agency is an organic social media agency. So we help brands with building organic social media followings.
Like TikTok,
Instagram, everywhere that's relevant for the brand. So maybe they have to be on TikTok, maybe you have to create long-form content on YouTube, maybe they start a podcast about their brand.
Yeah.
Right? And we help them with concepting this, with the fulfillment of it. So maybe we have to edit it, maybe they want us to manage it. All these things we can help them with. So organic social media. And I started it because I feel like that's what I'm good at the organic side, the creative organic side. And I've now a track record of being good at it, I guess, with my own brand. I can show them, hey, we reached 5 million people in the last 30 days with our own brand. So it's a very strong case study. And it's just fun to me. It's something different. There's a lot of paid advertising agencies, and they're fucking great at what they do.
Yeah.
So I couldn't be able to right now run like against that. Like I couldn't be able to hold up. But I am very good, and I have a very unique offer in the organic side of things. So that's why I'm started that, and it's monthly packages. So if I sign a client, they, for instance, pay $1,500 a month for my services. So it's a set income every month. Like it's predictable. It's not like e-com where it goes up and down. And that's where I want to live off. Like I want to live off my agency and reinvest the profits of the brand back into the brand until we can do an exit. And that's where you make a significant amount of money from building a brand. But yeah, maybe it's possible if you get to a certain point to also live off the brand. But then that's even better, right?
Yeah.
And it is. Like there's enough people here. I seen it now that it is possible. And especially like I don't need much. Just give me $1,500 a month and I can live here.
Yeah.
I'll just eat the same shit every day and I don't need new clothes. Like really, I don't care about it. I just want to be able to live in an inspiring environment. And I think it is possible of the brand.
Yeah.
But I just have time left, which is why I started the agency. And it's very much in the same realm. Like I am community building for my own brand, which we can do through the agency. So it's not like I'm wasting my focus. Like as long as I'm not working 60 hours a week on my brand, then I should do something else, I think.
Yeah. How much are you working now? I see you in the cafe every day.
Yeah, no, I am working a lot. But it's because I feel like now, okay, so my financial goal is to get to 10K a month profit, income for me.
Yeah.
Because I feel like at that point my money problems will be solved.
What money problems do you have?
All money problems. So I want to be able to go wherever I want, whenever I want. Work with whoever I want, whenever I want.
Yeah.
And I think I put for myself a goal at it of 10K a month, because I think at 10K a month I can do literally whatever I want, whenever I want. If I decide to go to Tokyo tomorrow, then I can do that. Like, and if I decide to eat some good food there, I can do that.
Yeah.
On that budget, comfortably, without having to think about it. But I'm not money driven. But I do want to get that goal out of the way first, so I don't have to think about the money anymore, about financial problems. I can pay this, I can pay him, I can pay to try this or to go there.
Yeah.
So I want to get that out of the way first so I can chill. And I think if I am there, because now I'm still very much thinking of like finding this new client or getting this new like thing going so I can comfortably do whatever I want here in Bali even first, without having to think about it. But yeah, for me now it's getting that financial problems out of the way first, which is why I'm working probably all day, or not all day, but I started working at probably 8. I work until like 1. I lunch with people that I meet here, and then I work for another 4 or 5 hours. Then I'll eat dinner, and then it's time to go to bed, or we go out to eat, or...
Does your weekends look the same?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they do right now. Because I feel like if I keep going like this for another 3-4 months, I will be there. So at 10K a month.
Yeah.
So I feel like I should just keep my head down for that time, solve these money problems, and then go from there. Then I played that game, for me, the financial game, and I finished it. And then I can keep going.
Yeah.
So I think you should play a game at a time. And for me right now, that's solving that money problem. So how can I find the clients? How can I scale my brand? It's all part of the game. Yeah, it's fun. Like, how can I solve this problem? I think if I keep going 3-4 months, I solve the money problems, I finish that game, and I can put my mind onto another game. So I can then say, let's like start to do even more self-reflection, maybe every day for 1.5 hours. Or, you know, I can start playing another game. So maybe at that point it will be scaling my agency for the heck of it, because I don't need more than 10K a month. But I do find it fun to, like with my brand now, I do find it fun to see how far we can get it. Like I want to get the most out of it because we're at it, we're playing it anyway. So why not try to do it to the best of our ability?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm then gonna do for the agency, but for fun. Like I want to be able to work with really cool brands, but probably say no to 4 of the brands that come to me, and then say yes to the 5th because it's sick. It's a brand with a cool story. It's a brand with personality, with founder that care about it. Like I want to help them share their story. It's fun to me.
Probably from the viewer's perspective, it seems like he is chasing money right now. But I know that like the thing you told me about in the restaurant about your family, the way you do it for your mom and for your brother.
Yeah, my little brother.
I mean that really, people should know that. It's
yeah. So I'm not money driven, but I'm gonna have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right. I don't care, but I'm gonna have it, and it's because I think it's a result of what you do. So if you get good at something, you do, or you just stick to something for a long time, or you just get the best at something, you're gonna have a lot of money as a result. And so I'm not money driven, but I still want money to do whatever I want. So you need a significant amount of money for that.
Yeah.
And there's different reasons for that. Like I want to do whatever I want, but for instance, like you said, I want to be able to take my little brothers, if they want, with me along on the journey. So especially my youngest one, I was a very difficult case in school, but my mom pulled me through it, and we were very lucky. Like we found the right school for me, and I found my place for 2 years there, but then I went back to regular school and didn't really find my place there, but still my mom pulled me through it all. But it's a different case with my youngest brother because he couldn't really find his place. He's now been to like 5 different schools, and yeah, it's just not for him, which is fine. But where he's gonna get has to come from a different place than the system and school and things like that. So I want to be able to take him in and to bring him with me and to show him what's out there, to show him what the real world is like, and that you can create your own world and you don't need school. And if he's with me in these places, if he's with me in this place for 3 months, he's gonna be like, you're living in a different world, because I am. Like this, the bubble we're living in is not the normal world.
No.
We're living in a different world where people just really, we think differently, I guess. Like when I tell you about documenting my journey, you're like, oh cool. When I tell someone
at home,
I'm home, they're like, what the hell are you doing? You got 0 views.
Yeah.
It's a different world we live in. So I want to show him this. I want to give him the confidence to do whatever the fuck he wants. And he has the confidence. He's really funny. I just think he needs to be in the right environment to blossom and to really get it all out of him, like a supportive environment with people that understand him. So I want to take him along with me across the world for probably around 17, 18 if he wants.
He's such a nice guy.
Yeah, I don't know. It drives me a lot. I think it's in some way my duty because my mom did it for me, and my mom is doing it for my youngest brother too.
What did you do?
So, in school...
More than taking care of you.
Yeah, no. In school I was always very much like mislabeled and misunderstood. Like, I got labeled a lot of things, but my mom was always like, no, like he doesn't have ADHD, or he isn't this or that, or whatever they try to put on me, right? And my mom always told me, you're not, or like, you're just not in the right place. Like, you're a very smart guy, you're misunderstood, things like that. My mom always put that confidence into me. So whatever negative inputs I had, I still had all the confidence in the world in myself for no fucking reason, because I shouldn't have had it listening to everyone around me. But I still did, because my mom always made sure I knew that it wasn't right. Like, even though, like, my mom told me a few weeks ago, and I wasn't aware of this, that when she wanted to make me skip the grades to go to high school at 10, the school was like, you don't know what the hell you're doing. Like, what are you putting this kid through? Like, this is gonna end up horrible. Why are you sending him to high school at 10? Like, this is not the good decision. But she stuck with it, and she never made me see any of these things. I didn't know that was going on. she pulled me through everything, all the negative experiences I had. And that's why I think I've always had the confidence. I remember driving to school at my bike to high school at like 15, and I was like, if I'm not gonna be in a place like this at 20, I'm gonna be a fucking failure. Like, there is just no way I'm not. And there was no reason I should have had that confidence listening to anyone. But because my mom always put that confidence in me, I had it. And that's why I think I'm here now at 20. I'm here now doing the things I do because I have the confidence to do it, which are a result of the way my mom pulled me through things, and which is my little brother going through the same things now. And we can even offer more and give more to my little brother if like my mom and me just team up and like give him the place to go to after high school, because I'm here now, and if I can give him this opportunity, and I feel like I just have to. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, as long as I have the chicken fucking broccoli and can live here, then the rest will go to, I'll take him along, right? And then we'll form a team. And I think it's just cool to build with people. And if I can build with him, isn't that like one of the coolest things ever? Like,
absolutely.
If he wants to, of course. Like,
yeah,
there's no obligation, but
no.
like, if he wants to and he wants to be in this, I want to offer him the option. That's what I want to do with, or why I'm doing most things. Like, I want to have the option to go to Tokyo.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to Tokyo right now, but what if I decide to? I need money for that, so I need some kind of money. I want the option to think, I want to stay in a 5-star hotel for 1 week because I just want to experience what it's like living like all these rich people. Like, I'm not like that, but why not? If I have the option, let me just try it.
Yeah.
And then I put it out of my system, and then I'm like, what is this shit? Probably like that's what I expect, but yeah, I want to have the option to do anything. Probably I'll never, the options or the things I will think of doing won't be very materialistic, but if I ever have the thought of doing something, then I want to be able to do it. Like, I feel like, how are you fully living life if there's questions left in your head? Any questions?
Oh, true.
Like, you're somewhere, you're still questioning things. Like, I don't know, it's answering these questions I have is like, it's important to me. Like.
Yeah. Do you feel like your family is like your biggest why you stay so much on track, or like is that your fuel, or
no.
what's your fuel?
No. So I think I've came to a better conclusion of what my like fire is.
Fire, yeah.
So I think it's actually an interesting one, and I came to this realization when I was in the plane a few weeks ago, going back from a trip with one of my best friends before I left to go here. I was
when?
Like, before Bali, I was gonna have a trip with him as like a goodbye trip. And when I was on the plane back to the Netherlands, in between coming here, I think I kind of figured this out in my head. So, like I said, I didn't really have a good time at school, I was bullied. I felt like I was always misunderstood. Like, I was always that short, annoying guy. While in my head, I had something to say. But I always had the feeling until I was like 18 that nobody wanted to listen to me. I felt like I was out of place and things like that. So I feel like my fire comes from a place of insecurity. Where I wasn't that guy for the most part of my life. But I want to be that guy. And whatever that guy is, for me that guy is being in the best physical shape. I want to be socially the best I can be. I want to be like financially become the best I can be. Not even because I want to make a lot of money, but because I feel like, why not just try to be the best I can be in every aspect of life? I want to be mentally very strong and not fragile and things like that. For me, that's that guy. And for me, I've never been that guy most of my life. So I want to make that undeniable, I think. I think that drives me a lot. I want to, back to the question part, I want to have no questions left for people to question me. And I don't know if that's a positive drive or a negative drive, but yeah.
Isn't that the way to get the most out of life.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not a negative.
Yeah,
not for me.
No, but I feel like it comes from a point of insecurity.
Yeah.
And trying to prove myself to who? I don't know. To myself,
To yourself,
to my
yeah.
parents, to people around me. At the same time, I really don't care about what people think. But that's strange because I still want that they have no questions.
Yeah.
They don't question anything about me being that guy. Isn't that like, I don't know, it's kind of double, right? I don't care about what
Yeah.
you think, but I also don't want to be questioned in any regard.
But yeah, it all comes down to that nothing matters. It's
Yes.
just have a good time while you're here.
Yeah,
There's gonna be an end.
yeah. And that's actually something that frees me a lot too. Like that maybe not what the fire is in me,
Yeah.
but that's that thought, I love that thought. I love that thought. Because nothing matters. And you're
Yeah.
right. Like we're not even a sentence in the book of the universe.
Whoa.
Or maybe a word. So we're really insignificant. Like we just are. And I realize that. And that gives me a lot of freedom. Because if nothing matters, why would you spend 1 minute on anything you don't want to be spending your time on? Why
Yeah.
would you do something you don't want to be doing? Why would you spend your time with people you don't want to spend time on? It doesn't matter. So why don't just do the things you want to be doing?
Yeah.
It all doesn't matter anyways, so why waste any of your time? No one will remember you in 500 years, even if you're some king.
Yeah. But what do you think? What's the main issue? Why don't people do what they want to do? Why are the people stuck? Why are they listening to your podcast? You know?
Yeah,
of course, maybe your podcast is not that
hopefully
thing.
you listen, but
You know what I mean?
Why are they stuck?
Why are they stuck in life?
I think-
why is everyone stuck?
Yeah, so I call it the Matrix, and it fits because I look at things like a video game, and it's sort of like a video game, but it's not like some kind of we're living in some video game. Maybe
No.
we are, we don't know, but I call it the Matrix because people don't realize that they live the life they live. That's it. Like, they don't realize that nothing matters. They don't realize that they're wasting their time. They're living their life they are supposed to live. They don't question things. They don't. That's why I think most people are wasting their time or working a job that they don't want to work because they don't realize that they're playing the game they're playing.
Yeah, but what if these people feel the same thing about you? Like, who's right?
Yeah, who is
Who's right or wrong?
I don't think there is a right or wrong.
No.
But I think everyone should find out what their right or wrong is.
Yeah.
So if you can convince me you want to chase promotions for 30 years in a corporate job, and you really
Do it.
and yeah, you really tell me that's your thing, then all right, go ahead and do it. But be aware of doing it.
Yeah.
Like, be aware that it's actually a waste of time in the grand scheme of things. No one cares about you, really.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. If that's what you want to do, then go ahead and do it. But be aware of that you're doing it. I think that's important. I think it's important that you know the game you're playing. So I'm very aware of that I'm solving my money problems now. But afterwards, I'm not going to be chasing money anymore. A fun story, like a brand came to me now that wants to pay full price for social media management and things like that. But they are not a brand that I'm behind in the products they sell and the story they tell. I don't support very much. So I decided to not take the job, even though I am chasing that money right now, if you want to call it like that, so I can move on. I don't just blindly chase the money. Like, I'm still aware what I'm doing. I'm still aware of the game I'm playing.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's a right or wrong, but just be aware of things. And I think consciousness plays a big part in why we're here and
Yeah.
why people are in the matrix, if you want to call it like that, in another world, chasing things that don't matter, because you're just unaware of that they're doing it. They think that's the way to go.
Yeah.
They think they have to drive the big car. And can you really blame people if that's the world they live in? They don't know about our world, right? They don't know about the way we think. So you can't really blame anyone.
No.
That's their reality. But I think people should be aware of that they can create their own reality and shape it to the way they want to live, and
Yeah.
but there's just a lot of like outside pressure and programming and family and friends and school and job and car leases and
Yeah.
house payments that it builds. The further you go, the higher the wall goes,
Yeah.
and the higher it is to jump over it and start creating your own reality.
But you agree with me, because I know we talked about it, that I really feel like when I've been such a bad friend, because I always wanted my friends to like get better,
Yeah.
do more,
Yeah.
you like, start this business. Like I always wanted my friends to do it.
Yeah.
And like I know you said the same, that it was like, fuck, we're so
Yeah. No. Yeah, I think it's your duty to try and take the people that are close to you on the train.
yeah.
I think
But what if they don't? What if
Yeah.
they don't want to?
So I think you should try to the best of your ability, and I did. Like I'm stubborn, like, and I wasn't very comfortable with who I was or very confident about what I was doing yet a year ago. But I went into every discussion with people I didn't agree with, and I tried to win over everyone to the way of thinking of creating your own reality and
Yeah.
going your own way. But you just can't take everyone with you on the train. And at some point, you can better take a step back, because you're worsening the relationship you have with people, because it's more negative at some point.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's better to just step back and be like, all right, we'll both go our own way.
Yeah.
And yes, I think you grow apart. But I think you should try to get them on the train,
Yeah.
even though they don't want to or whatever. Like, try it until until you realize that it's just not gonna work.
Yeah. You mean some people, they might, like, that's what they need to hear
Yeah, like,
to get going.
yeah, you have to try it until it doesn't work, and then you have to move on also.
Yeah.
You grow apart. I mean, we're young. We're gonna lose some friends. We're probably not even found the closest friends yet.
Oh.
Maybe we'll become the closest friends.
Maybe.
Like, we're still young enough to find these people. So I think, and it's very hard, but at some point you have to distance yourself from people.
Yeah.
And I was scared. I was very scared. So probably around a year ago, I was in that phase where I knew I had to distance myself, but didn't have the confidence yet to do it. And then after a while, meditating helped me a lot with it, because it came up in my head over and over every time I was meditating. So I had to act on it. So I decided to do it, to cut myself off. And most of my friends questioned me. They were like, what the fuck are you doing? And it was very scary to me, seeing my own friends laugh at me, like, actively. Like, is this
like in front of you, like,
yeah,
no.
or like just hearing it, it's like, are you going crazy? Like,
Yeah.
and I knew I had to do it, and like, I knew I had to like get through it, even though they were like, oh, what is this guy doing? Like, funny, right? But it's not funny to me, and it was really scary to me. And then at some point, the end of last year, I was like, I'm now ready to go fully all in on myself and distancing myself from everyone, and I'm not scared anymore to just play into who I am and just seeing who gets along with it.
Do you feel that was a mindset change of you?
Yeah.
Because now when I meet you, like, you talk to everyone.
Yeah.
Oh,
but I'm like that. But I'm like that in the right environments.
Yeah.
So I feel like I can talk very well with people if I feel like they're listening or they understand me, so I'm so excited to meet everyone here.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be in some student environment in Rotterdam. Like, I feel out of place. And here I feel more in place, and I feel like that people that are here kind of get me more.
Yeah.
Maybe not all, but maybe more, or maybe all. Some people will understand me fully. And that makes me very open up and blossom and like happy. I'm fucking smiley all the time. I'm like, because I'm so excited to be here. I feel like I'm the smallest fish here. Like, I'm the kid, and I love it. Like, I want to meet these fucking cool people, and I want to listen to them, and I want to question them, and I want to sit at a dinner and listen what they talk about, and I want to. This is like an environment for me I can prosper in. I'm socially for myself in the right environments with cool people. Then I'm very social, and yeah, like you said, I talk to everyone here, and I'm sitting at tables I shouldn't be sitting at, supposedly, right? I'm 19, just I turned 20. I'm at the beginning of my journey. I'm nowhere near where they are financially, but I'm there. I'm at the table I dreamed about for 6 months, longer. I'm at a table where I dreamed about for my life. People listening to me, trying to understand me. And I shouldn't be there, but I think I'm there because I'm so open and social and just like this. I don't tell them I'm already making 10K a month.
No.
I tell them like I'm just now getting my first clients on board, and I need to kind of hurry up with it because like I have my shit to pay, right? Like I'm open about that.
Yeah, and they're helpful.
Yeah, and I feel like it's because people recognize potential. And I feel like it doesn't matter where you are, but if people see potential or they see themselves in you, they'll do whatever to help you.
Yeah.
And I would do the same. If I'm 30, seeing a kid, like why the fuck would you not help him?
Yeah, of course.
Some kid that's just trying to make it. Like I really see myself still as that kid from like when I was 10, lost. Like I'm that guy. And I think that's why I'm now at the tables I'm not supposed to be at yet, or I'm listening to the conversations that are way further. But I'm taking it all in, I'm learning so much, and that's why I think my breakthrough now is coming. So yeah, like being social here is so fun because I feel like I'm meeting people that understand me, and being social here, I feel like I'm finding friends and people I can build with, and that's all I do in my life. So
yeah,
being social here for me is easier.
Don't you also, a friend of mine, he told me yesterday, he's like, you can never see the difference between someone who makes $1 million a month and a backpacker here.
Yeah.
And like, that's the way it is.
Yeah, I think so.
You never know.
So this is one of the realizations I had. I talked about it in one of the videos.
Yeah.
People are fucking normal. Like, the people that are where we question what it's like to be at. So let's say at $1 million a month. It's for us, it's so far from our doorstep. Like it's so, what is that like? Then you talk to someone like that, and he's just a normal guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's not Albert Einstein. It's just a normal dude. He did a lot of different things, and he went a very unconventional route and did a lot of things he wasn't supposed to do to get there. But he himself is a normal guy or girl. Like, friendly, funny, like nothing very different. But you're right, like, and that's what I'm trying to say also. Like, you don't have to be some kind of genius. You just have to do different shit if you want to like accomplish anything different. Like you have to do different shit. Yeah. So it's hard, like you said, to tell the difference here, and I feel like people are very accepting also.
Yeah.
So there isn't really people, or there is, but there isn't really much people pretending to be something they're not here.
No. And
if they are, you don't attract them.
No, exactly.
Because we don't put out that energy, so we attract each other that aren't like that. And so you kind of miss the people that do, right?
Yeah.
Automatically, I feel like.
So, since you're so young, I hope a lot of young people are listening to you.
Yeah.
But what is your biggest tip for someone that's too scared to start, or they feel like they're too young, or they don't have any money? Like, what's your tips?
Yeah, so my tip is to just start somewhere and to just get going. Getting into the habit of creating is a big start, like big breakthrough for whatever you're gonna do. Instead of consuming, creating anything, like a blog weekly, even an Instagram post. Like set yourself to, I want to create one Instagram post about myself every week in a cool place, a cool picture with a cool photographer. Get into the habit of creating anything, because whenever you have that idea, it's not gonna be uncomfortable to create that idea. turn it into reality.
Yeah.
Because you're already into the habit of creating anything. Because you're like, okay, so I have this idea. I can create this in a different way. I have to find out how I can print this hoodie, or how I can source the blank for this hoodie. But I'm already creating these pictures, and I'm already doing something creative. So that makes it easier to get over the starting of the idea that will probably bring you where you want to be, because you're in the habit and you are not that scared of creating. It's like this. This will probably be for you a big next step into like the video part.
Yeah.
Because now you've done it, and you're probably gonna be like,
it's like, why?
Like, who cares? Like,
yeah,
it's not scary. Like, it's so not scary. So for that, it would even be easier if you had the habit of like creating one weekly video. I did that before starting this in Rotterdam. In Rotterdam and then living at home, I created one video a week of like just me talking to the camera. And at some point, I was like, I'm just gonna upload these.
Yeah.
I'm creating this shit anyways. Why not just upload them? I don't care if people think it's weird. Why not? And it was less scary for me because I was already in the habit of creating.
Yeah.
So, and I was already creating different things like my brand. So it was even easier for me to start the video because.
So what you're saying is basically just start small.
Yeah, start small.
But just start and do it consistently.
Yeah, start consistently.
Doesn't matter at all what they do.
No.
What if they suck at photo? What if they don't have a good phone? What if?
Yeah, I think, as long as it's authentic to who you are, you can't go wrong. Like, you can't. As long as you're not pretending to be a dropshipping millionaire, like, I could do these videos of like, hey, I'm dropshipping, or, but that's just not who I am, right? And that will catch up to me. Maybe I will get much more views of like, how to dropship and make this much money because I live in Bali, so I can make it look like I do.
Yeah.
But that will catch up to me because I don't, and that people will find out.
And your money will run out.
Yeah, my money. People will figure out. Like, so it's unauthentic. So then that kind of creation can go wrong or catch up to you.
Yeah.
But as long as you're authentic about what you do and open about who you are on any canvas you want to create. So let's say a picture or a video or a blog or however, you can't go wrong. Because people will see that you're trying and they will respect you for it.
Yeah.
They don't mind that it's wrong. They see someone trying. You can't hate on that. And if people hate on it, they're just like,
that's their problem.
Listen to them. Yeah. Because why blame someone that's trying? So,
but that's also, it's very easy to say, but like, how do you think someone would do that's very afraid of it? Like, if I'm very scared of it, that my friends would judge me, what should you do?
That's like a mindset shift. There needs to happen a mindset shift in how you're thinking of yourself and of other people, and you have to break that false belief of people will judge me.
By doing it.
Yes, and by breaking the false belief.
Yeah.
Like, this is a quote of Alex Ramosi, and maybe he took it somewhere else, but you only question your beliefs if you don't really believe them. Like, you don't question the beliefs you really believe. But you have to sit back and look at all your beliefs. Because if you in the back of your mind have the belief that if you make videos people will judge you, you're probably never going to start video, but you never think about it because that's what you truly believe. But you have to break that and be like, so if I'm authentic and open about creating these pictures, and I admit to people that I'm bad, like, I tell them, like, yes, I'm bad, but I love to create these photos and I hope to get better, everyone is gonna like that. No one is gonna hate on that. Like, no one is gonna judge you. Probably some people are, but fuck those people. Like, there is no point.
We go back to that nothing matters.
Yeah, nothing matters. Like, why give a shit?
Yeah.
They are probably not doing anything. And I think that you should just break that. Like, just create anything. For instance, creating these videos, it's that we're now in some studio.
Yeah.
But
really nice studio.
Yeah, really nice studio. But like, I record these on my phone normally.
Yeah.
And I like this concept even more because it's more long form and you can dig into each other's thoughts.
Yeah.
But I tell, like, it's not about the quality, but it is in the end. But as long as you start,
You'll get better.
Yeah, you'll get better, and you just admit that you suck.
Yeah.
And then just get better, then you'll get better along the way. Like, that's the journey. And it's even cooler to look back on in the end that it did start out shitty. Because then people were like, that was really shitty, but look at where he is now.
Yeah. It's
Like,
even better.
It's even better. Like, and it's only better because you dared to do it.
Yeah.
I think it would be sick to go to this Instagram profile of this very high level photographer and scroll all the way back.
See his
and
old
see like
photos.
2014 where it's like looks like nothing. Like,
Yeah.
that would be so cool. Because then I know you're one of the best photographers in the world. Your work is so sick. But you were even worse when you started than I am now.
Yeah.
So there's no reason for me to complain or to not do it or to not post this picture or to not go out with this person to shoot content with.
Yeah.
It's really something that's in people's head, which is programmed, I think, by the majority of people, by society or the matrix that puts it in your head. Like, it's weird to do this, it's bad to do this, you should consume instead of create. Like, these things are in your head and you believe them, and it holds you back in a lot of different ways. It's like coming to Bali. Why would you do that? Like, you're gonna not have a job, and I don't even think about these things. Like,
No.
they are really not even in my head. I just booked my trip here, like, because I'm so not in the conventional way of thinking, coming back to that thinking differently, that for me, I'm taking a jump still. It's a risk, right? But what is the risk really?
Yeah.
Everyone tries to convince me that it's a risk and I should stay in my job and have a stable income. But what's the risk? What do I lose? I come from a very fortunate background, and I'm very grateful that I'm born in the Netherlands. And I would say I'm privileged, right? We are not rich, but I'm privileged in that I have a safe home to go to. I have food. I have parents that are there, right? That makes me privileged already. So what's the risk? If I really, and there's just no way that's gonna turn out like that, but let's say I really can't do work for anyone, so that my work, so I can't survive here, then I have to fly back and regroup everything I'm doing at home with my parents.
Restart again.
Yeah, what's my risk?
Yeah.
There is no
you
risk.
always have your food.
Yeah, there is no
You always
risk.
have your house.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm very privileged for that, but a lot of us are.
Yeah, and I think like most of the people listening to this podcast
Are, yeah.
they are, even if they think that like, oh, if I lose now it's gonna be the end, but it's really not.
Yeah, it's not.
You probably have a friend.
Yeah, it's
something.
not. Exactly, that's what I said. If my parents can pay for my ticket back home, I can probably convince 8 people to give me €100 to get me back
you can
home.
borrow it.
I'll get home.
Yeah, you'll get home.
I'll find it out.
I'll borrow it.
Yeah, like, I'll find it out. So what's the risk? Everyone tries to convince you that there's a risk. Why do you quit that job? So quit that job, go to Bali, fail, and then go back, get another job. Who gives a shit? Like, why? But everyone and society and the matrix sets you up for failure because they want you to buy a house, borrow a lot of money, make you have a lot of responsibilities, build that wall up higher and higher and higher and higher.
So you can't get out.
So you can't. But if you're listening to this now and you're young and you already am seeing these things, like, don't fall into that trap and question everything. And really, if people say you're doing something wrong, you're probably doing something right.
Yeah.
Because you're doing something that's not conventional. And if you want to get to any significant place, or like whatever is significant for you, any different place than other people are, then you have to do unconventional things.
Yeah.
There is no other way to get there. It just doesn't fall in your lap, right? So, yeah.
And what do you think? I feel like traveling opened up my mind and my everything. Like, what do you feel changed since you took that trip to like the US?
Yeah.
For instance.
Yeah, a lot. Like, it taught me a lot.
Yeah.
And back to the risk. That's also a risk, right? Like, you take a gap year. Maybe you never want to go back to school. And I didn't. Like, and I'm really glad. And for instance, my US trip, like, also gave me a lot of extra confidence to also drop out. And so one more point I wanted to make there is that realize that the risk you're taking whatever risk it is probably not that big of a risk. Like if you imagine worst case scenario, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So realize that and just do it. Like don't listen to other people. Like really, just do it. As long as you're not gonna crash and burn or like it's detrimental, or just do it and see what happens. And the US was one of those which I'm very happy and grateful I had the opportunity to do. It was an exchange. I went to high school there and
alone.
Yeah, alone
Yeah.
at 16. So I was scared. Like
Cool.
it was not so much of a risk in what's going wrong because I'm still a kid, but it was scary, right? But I still did it, and it brought a lot to me. So, like I said before, I think I've been out of the conventional system since I was very young. So that was the first really outside of the what I'm supposed to do thing I did, because I went there, and for me it really felt, even though I was in school there, felt like I was in a play, or I entered a game I was not supposed to be in. I was like a guest in there. Like I was just running around there, taking everything in, but I wasn't really part of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I came into a world there which I don't belong, and I was just like running around there, taking everything in, realizing a lot of things, because for that whole year I didn't really have any pressure on myself in a way that I already had my high school diploma, so I didn't have any school pressure. I didn't have to make my grades because it was high school again.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter. I played football. I was very physically active and playing a lot of sports, which was just fun to me to experience. And I had so much room to think
Yeah.
that like it gave a lot of insights to me. Like from a young age, I'm very grateful of the place I come from, and I even realize it more that I have to give back to my parents and my little brothers, for instance, because when I was there, I realized, like being here, there's people that are not good off. Like there's people that aren't born in a good family or a positive reinforcing family, that don't have the environment to grow. And I realized there that I'm very happy to come from the place I come from. And even though I had a great experience in the US, I was like, I'm glad I come from where I come from. That's something I realized. I realized that the world is big, right? I come from a small town in the Netherlands. Ending up in the US, I'm like, oh, there's more to the world. Like it opened up my eyes to, there's more. Socially it brought me a lot. I think I'm good socially now because I was thrown into a completely unknown environment, a different culture, people I didn't know at 16. I had to adapt. I think that brought me a lot socially. So in many different ways, it brought me a lot. And yeah, I'm very grateful that I had the chance to go. And that's also where my brand started. An authentic experience turned into a product. And that's why I believe in it. That's why I love to work on it every day. Like, I work on it 5 hours and I don't see it as working, because that was me. Like, my brand is me from 16 to 18. That's me, my brand. That's the story I'm telling. So yeah, it brought a lot to me. It brought my brand. It brought my like probably start of thinking for myself. And
yeah, do you think it's changed a lot of your mindset also?
Yeah.
Or did that come later? Because I feel like you're so mature in your way of thinking.
Yeah.
Or is that just
yeah, so I ask this question to my mom sometimes, like, what was I saying when I was 12? Like,
yeah.
Like what?
That's
like,
very young though.
Yeah, like what was I talking about?
Yeah.
Was I just always talking about more things, and I feel like I've always, so she said that, like, I have always talked a lot or talked differently or questioned things that
You've always been like it.
Yeah, like question things I wasn't supposed to question, right?
Mm.
But I think an experience like that reinforces it, because it puts me in a different world where I'm like, so all these things I've been hearing about the US aren't
true.
So what more isn't?
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, you get all these beliefs about the US, right? But then you go there and you experience it. It's like, oh, it's kind of different.
Yeah.
it's kind of people are nice to each other. And I'm just saying something, right? So I think that probably reinforced the going my own way of thinking.
Yeah.
And it brought me a break of, if I would have went from high school to uni, I wouldn't have dropped out probably, because I wouldn't have had the room to think, and I probably wouldn't have the confidence to go against what I was supposed to, because I was out from 16 to 18. I turned 17 right when I got to the US. I was out of the putting thoughts into my head, right? I was out of the being programmed by what I was supposed to do. So I think then going back into the school system, I was already like questioning a lot more, because I had room in between to think and to question. And then when I went back to uni, I was like, this is just like, and I probably wouldn't have been conscious enough if I went right to uni at 16 to get my act together and just say, I'm gonna drop out. Maybe I would have stayed a year longer, and that would have made me think differently. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's hard to say.
Yeah, but so your tips is basically like, take that job, do that trip.
Yeah.
Do that weird thing. Whatever.
Yeah,
just do something.
Whatever. Yeah, do something. Whatever that is.
Yeah.
Like just go and just try it. If it's scary, it's probably gonna be beneficial for you and your development, and because everything that's comfortable is not probably gonna push you or get you any further.
No.
So everything that's scary, doing it is probably gonna get you to the next level. It's also a thing. So Alex Hormozzi is a big inspiration for me. He said, every time I leveled up, he said every time I added a zero to my income, I did something people told me not to do.
Yeah.
So every time it's scary, or every time you feel like you're not supposed to do it, or people tell you that it's strange, and of course use your mind. Like, don't like just run around. But yeah, it's probably gonna be beneficial for your development. So yeah, do that. Take that job. Drop out of uni. Like, I'm not telling you to drop out of uni, but if you but if you feel like that's gonna be good for you and that's what you're supposed to do, then do it.
Yeah.
I bet you probably everyone is gonna tell you not to do it. Everyone told me not to do it.
Yeah.
Even my parents. And my parents usually are always with me on things. But because they are from a background which is more traditional and like a different
study,
kind of
work.
Era of like time, they try to convince me not to, but then I told them I'm done. Like, whatever anyone says, I'm quit. They were like, okay, from this point on we'll support you, which I'm really grateful for. But the point is that before, everyone told me not to quit. My friends, and even me myself, like my rational brain was like, you shouldn't quit or drop out. Like, I don't see it as quitting, because if I wanted to finish it, I would have. But I dropped out because I felt like it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like I quit. But everyone else told me not to do it, and even myself, because I was like, I don't have a lot better to do. It's not like I have that much better things to do. But it was me knowing that at least that's not the way for me. Like, at least I don't want to get into some grad job after uni. And that was already enough for me, even though my rational brain said, you don't have much better things to do, but I don't want that, so let me just quit.
Yeah.
And I'll figure it out. I was so lost. I can show like texts I sent to my mom, I'm like, or like calls I had with her. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm lost, like literally, like I'm confused. I'm staring at my wall.
Oh.
Like, I don't know, right? My brand wasn't taking off because it was Corona. There were no exchange students. I tried to start 4 different brands that all failed. I was confused, but at least I didn't go back. I'm almost like, keep going, just keep going, keep trying, keep going.
Yeah.
And I'm still not there. I mean, this is the beginning of my journey. It is starting to look like something now. Things are starting to make sense. But for a long time they didn't. Like, it's only now they're starting to line up, and I know exactly what steps to take to get to that 10K, and I know exactly what I'm doing. But still, I'm just figuring it out. Like, as well, I don't know exactly what I'm doing right, because they can go wrong.
Yeah.
But at least I grabbed I got the balls to just keep going and just to be lost.
Yeah.
I think the earlier you face the being lost, the earlier you're gonna find out what's working for you, and like, because you can stay in there really long. So go to school, listen to what you're supposed to do, go to a job, and at some point you're gonna be like, what am I doing? So the sooner you dare to face the being lost part, the sooner you're gonna find the thing for you and the job you want to do or the business you want to work at. But the being lost part is very scary. Like,
Yeah.
it's not fun. Like, it's gonna take 1 year, 2 years, but you have to go through it. And I feel like the sooner you take that step, the sooner you take that jump, is the sooner you will get to where you want to get to, wherever that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have two more things.
Yeah.
We have some practices now.
Yeah.
I want you to first of all set a date.
Yeah.
For your 10K goal.
Yeah.
Like, when are you gonna achieve it?
Okay, so
give me a month.
The first date that popped up was the 31st of January.
31st. All right.
Is it? That's the day, right? Or is it the 30th?
So first
the
of February.
last day of January.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know why.
Okay, so then you have a financial goal.
Yeah.
Do you have any health goals?
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't post much about that.
No,
but yeah, I'm very. So I don't know if the audience could see or know, but yeah, I'm very. Like, I care a lot about my physical health and my well-being. So I think my overarching goal, if you look at what am I doing with my life, is I want to become the best version of myself, physically, mentally, socially, financially, in that order.
Yeah.
Because I think without your physical health, the others don't matter. And if you get your physical health straight, it's easier to get your mental health on point too.
Yeah.
And then if you are physically confident, mentally stable, you are probably going to be socially strong too. And if you are all of those trees and you just put the discipline you got to from getting physically healthy into anything and just stick with it, the financial part will come. It's a result. It will follow. It's really inevitable. Like, I am going to make a lot of money, but not because I want to. It's because it's inevitable. It will follow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't have any physical goals.
All right.
I don't cut. I don't gain.
No.
Like, I don't.
You're already eating chicken and rice.
Yeah, I'm just eating like that always.
Chicken and rice.
Chicken and rice. Yeah, that's boring. Huh?
Yeah.
I'm a nerd, I guess.
But I know you have another goal, and that's taking one day off a week. When are you gonna start doing that?
Yeah. So talking with Amadeus, it made me realize, like, even being, it's weird, but being present here, I realize that I'm not present.
Yeah.
So while talking to someone, I'll realize that I'm not fully there. And I need to work at that. And I think it's because I'm here on go, like running, talking to this person, working on this idea, implementing this new thing, trying to make this work.
Yeah.
That it's always like boom, 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 boom. So I want to take this day off, which I also wrote into my notes. Like, I write everything down. And I wrote down in my Notion, I have like a page where it's just me, like my brain.
Yeah.
And in there was one part, Bali, and it said, when I am going here, then I'm going to take one day off a week. And talking to you made me realize that again. Oh yeah, I did write that down, but I'm not doing it. Where I can just recoup. Because I think if you're always working, you're probably not also the most effective. You need to reflect. You need to sit down, think about what you're working on. You need to take this step back to then also be able to effectively use your time after. So I'm gonna probably do that every Sunday. And I need
probably
do that every Sunday. Yeah, I need to just do it once, and I feel like then, like we said before, if you do it once, then you'll see, oh, it's pretty nice.
It's pretty nice, yeah.
But that one time just has to come still.
All right, Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday. Yeah, let's do it this Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any other goals like that you can put on the 31st of January? Anything else? So
back to the physical part. I want to go a little deeper on that because, so the order I just explained it in. I think being physically healthy is so important with whatever you do in life. With your confidence, so your confidence to perform in other places. With your social, like maybe you're socially anxious, but if you're confident in your own body, you're probably more comfortable in social situations. Mentally, if you feel better about yourself, it's hard to become mentally strong. So getting strong is really important. And for me, my basis was late, like when I was doing high-level gymnastics when I was 10, 11. So I trained a lot back then. I didn't make the national team, but I was pretty far.
Yeah.
So I was training like 20 hours a week, 21 hours a week, 18, 21 when I was 10, 11.
Yeah.
So I don't know any different. Like, I had a dietitian back then. I was eating fucking fish, chicken, rice, eggs every day. I remember having to vomit from eggs one time because I fucking ate so many eggs.
Whoa.
And it's just the way I live now. Like, back to the being programmed. That's how I was programmed when I was young. So for me, it's not something I do or have to put myself to do. It's just something I am.
Yeah.
I just eat like this. Like, everyone that knows me thinks I'm crazy, but I just eat like that. Like, I don't have to think, oh shit, I need to eat the same shit again. I'm like, let's go, another. Like, I'm looking forward to getting chicken after this.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So I think that it's important to be physically healthy, and for me, I don't really put any goals to that. I just go off of how I feel and how I look.
Yeah.
I want to look good and I want to feel good. For instance, I've been losing some weight since I've been in Bali because I don't eat enough, because at home it's easy to snack or whatever, and here I just eat the 3 meals and drink water and then sweat it all out. So I've been losing some weight, so I now actively watch myself to eat more every day.
Yeah.
So I act on it. But then I just go to the gym 3-4 times a week, and I have been doing that since I was like 15, 14.
Yeah.
So I don't think about having to go to the gym. I just go to the gym. That's just part of who I am. I am someone that goes to the gym, so I go to the gym.
Yeah.
It's a very strong statement, like an I am statement. So I am that person, so I just do it. I just think about it, and that results into me being physically healthy, right? It's an outcome. I don't think I train hard at all. Like, I just chill at the gym for like 1.5 hours.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I have the body I have.
Yeah.
Like,
easy.
It's a result. No, but
so
it really is easy. Like,
yeah.
It's not, but it is. If you come into that mindset of you are the guy that goes to the gym, then at some point after doing that for half a year, you just start going to the gym without even thinking about it. That's what I do now. Probably after this, I'm just like, oh, I have some room to go to the gym now, I'll go.
Yeah.
And then after I'll get a protein shake. It's just a way of life for me. And that results into me being physically healthy. And that results then in having a stable you for everything else you do. So that's why I do physically, that's why I want to be physically healthy. But I don't focus on it that much. Like, I'm not a nerd about it. Like, I don't weigh my protein scoops or like my vegetables.
Yes, go.
I just go, and then if that's not wrong, by the way, to do that. If that makes you feel good and confident, and you should. For me, it's just I go off of how I feel. So yeah, that's like the physical part. But
yeah, cool.
What do you want to say again?
You said you were doing gymnastics.
Oh yeah.
I know you need to show the camera.
Yeah. I kind of need to. I don't need to destroy things. But yeah, I still got that.
He can do a backflip.
I still got that.
So what I want you to do now is think about yourself in 3 years, all right?
Yeah.
And I want you to look into the camera, and I want you to give yourself some sort of message, like, what do you want to tell yourself in 3 years?
Yeah, okay.
Just go with whatever. With whatever and talk to the camera.
Yeah, no, it's funny to say 3 years. Because I always say, give me 3 years.
Cool.
So I don't know if I ever said that to you, or did you say this randomly? No, but really.
3 years is a perfect time.
I always say, give me 3 years and look where I'll be.
Yeah.
Like, watch, give me 3 years. That's why I also said, in 3 years, that's why I'm making these videos. I told it in the last video. In 3 years, I will be at an impressive place for a 23-year-old. And that's why I create this video, so I can look back onto what I was thinking then. And for people to look back on and hopefully be inspired by the videos. So where I'll be in 3 years is, I'll be at a place where I can give back to whoever I want to give back. I'll put everyone around me in a position that they are able to do whatever they want. I'll be fucking stoked about every day, waking up, building cool shit, probably still creating content because I'm starting to like this. I'm starting to get more comfortable. I'll be just doing whatever I want, which I'm already kind of doing, but now still with different like games I have to play. And in 3 years, I won't have to think about, can I go there? Can I take my friend with me to Tokyo? For instance, I'm going to take my middle brother to Tokyo when he's 18. That's just going to be normal. That's my life. I'm going to be able to do whatever I want, whenever I want. I'm going to work with very cool people. And I think I'm just going to be happy. Hopefully more present. I think is a good one. Yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's such a great video.
Yeah, thank you for listening. And I feel like I'm maybe even gonna do like the weekly documenting in this format.
Ah, cool.
So more long term. So document my journey while I'm in conversation with other entrepreneurs. Because I feel like this way
perfect.
You get more into my thoughts.
Yeah.
I can even give updates in front of every podcast about maybe 2 minutes first about this is where I'm now. This
Absolutely. What's going on in your life?
Yeah. And then go more deep into it in a conversation with anyone that's as a guest.
And you can even you can use your own problems, like what you're doing in the business now, and ask your customers to help you or whatever.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot.
Yeah, so I think
you can do.
I'll just do it long form always.
Yeah.
But no, I like this. I think
too.
it went well, and hopefully you guys did listen to here. I'm very grateful that you stayed for so long, and hopefully you learned anything from it. And share it with your friends, and if you think anyone can benefit from this. Thank you for watching, and hopefully they edit anything.